Hi everyone. In this video today, we are going to explore Biscuit authorization tokens. So what is authorization? Authorization means permitting a user to access resource within a system. Let's consider a simple monolithic e-commerce web application where you authenticate the user and then authorize the user based on his permissions. You show him the user bills, the purchase history, the shopping carts. In such an application, mostly the authorization can be done from a single DB where the user's login permissions are fetched. This is good for a simple web application residing in one server. But now imagine a big e-commerce application wherein each and every components are written in separate languages and reside in different servers. Let's say shopping cart module is written in Node.js and resides in, let's say, server A. Product list is in Golang and resides in server B. And let's say analytics is in Python and resides in server C. Now, all this resides in different servers. Now, this is where the problem comes in. Now, authorization from DB for each of these servers will be a problem, as we'll have to replicate the authorization data across all the DBs in different servers. Also, writing APIs is slow, complicated, and redundant. Now, this is where the Biscuit authorization token comes in. Just like JWT, but with different and extra features. They are also open source and can be used by anyone. Let's explore what Biscuit offers. First of all, it's decentralized verification. That means, it supports the public key cryptography, wherein the authorizing servers basically they need to know the public key only, and the incoming biscuits, which are signed by private keys, can be verified in this all the servers. Second, it's offline attenuation. What that means is basically you can generate new biscuit tokens with restrictive permissions and pass it to a new user. So the new user will also have access to these servers, but probably with lesser rights. Biscuit token supports better Datalog policies via which you can control the logic how the offline attenuation and checking and rules can be handled. Also, it supports revocation by default. The tokens are generated by default here in this biscuits, which are not done in JWT. So yeah, that is supported. And lastly, and most importantly, it is very portable and it can be supported in many platforms and many languages like Rust, Haskell, Go, WebAssembly. You name anything, probably you can do it. Many a times people confuse authentication with authorization. So let's know the difference. The main difference is in authentication, you ask a user for a login. I mean, you ask him to enter a username or a password to access the system, or probably you can use any SSO, single sign on from Google or maybe Facebook to authenticate a user into the system. But now, after the authentication, you need to provide system access. Let's say a user wants to access shopping cart, product list, or analytics, as I have explained above. So this all things are controlled in authorization. So that's the difference between authentication and authorization. Before getting into Biscuit authorization, let's understand the important components first. I prepared a document with all the important components. I'll share that with you now. So the first component that we're going to look is facts. Facts are nothing but data against which all the checks are done. So here I am presenting two facts. One is user and the other one is for roles. So I have one user here and there are two roles within this fact. So now this facts can be checked against certain values which are done in the checks block. So let's say I want to validate if the roles contain moderators. That can be done using this rule. So it's simple. Basically it returns we are checking here that whether this roles contain any moderator. If this is true, then definitely it will return a boolean saying it's true, otherwise it will return a false. Now comes allow and deny block. Allow and deny block, it resides inside the authorizer. It doesn't reside inside the token, the biscuit token. So what it does is, if a check is passed or failed, then using this code, we can allow that token to access that resource, or we can deny the incoming token to access the particular resource. So the order is the facts will come first. After that, the checks will be done against the facts. And once a check returns certain boolean value, let's say true or false, then this allow and deny block will be called. So this will come in the last part. Now let's move to rules. Rules generate new facts from existing facts. So the thing is that, let's say here I have written presented two facts. One is for users and the other one is for roles. Now if I need to generate any new fact out of this dynamically, so that will be done using the rules. So let's say here I have written this rule. This is again data log, so everything is written in data log, and I have given the link to the Datalog tutorial in the description below, so you can take a look there. So this will generate a new fact from this rule, and the generated fact would be like this. Let's head to namespaces. Namespaces are used to avoid collision between two same facts, but with different purposes. So to do that, we append a string like this one for shopping cart. Let's say we can integrate shop. We can prepend shopping cart before our fact. Similarly, for admin user, we can prepend a string saying admin user to the existing fact. Now coming to blocks. So Biscuit tokens are made up of blocks. Each block contains facts, checks, rules, and other components. And the basic building block for a Biscuit is authority block, which is there in each and every Biscuit token. Let me go to the website. So if you see the website here with this Biscuit token, this is a basic Biscuit token. Now, it by default it contains an authority block. This authority block will contain one revocation token and the other part of data, other data that contains facts, checks, and everything. So this is one basic authority block which is there by default. And apart from that, if in case you attenuate a biscuit, then there will be a new set of rules and there will be new set of facts that will be appended in another block. So basically, probably for that part there will be another block with same kind of data but with different revocation tokens and rules and facts. So yeah, so this brings to an end to the components part. Now actually let's head back to the command line terminal to actually see how the biscuit token works. So now we are actually going to see how we can use the command line interface provided by the Biscuit to create tokens and also verify these tokens along with attenuating a token. So let's begin. So the first dependency that we have to install is the Biscuit CLI, which can be done using the cargo package manager provided by the REST Lang. So this can be done using a simple command, that is cargo install Biscuit CLI. You see, I have already installed this the Biscuit CLI, so I'll be skipping the step and carrying forward. One important thing to remember though is I'm using here this Ubuntu virtual machine, the command line terminal that has been provided by Windows. So here you'll need to configure the path of the Biscuit CLI, which is usually located in, let's say, as the install path. The install path is basically in the cargo bin, which has to be pasted in your environment file. That can be done using this one. So vi tc. So you see, I have already pasted the path for my cargo CLI bin, so it should work fine. To do that, to refresh the environment, what you have to do is you have to type source etc. Now the CLI should be ready, so you can check it out like this. So you see my command line interface for Biscuit is already working. Now let's head into the actual commands of generating a private and a public key pair. That can be done using this. You see, these are randomly generated key pair generated by the Biscuit terminal. This is the private key and the public key. You need to ensure that you save this public key and private key somewhere, because if you lose your private key, probably in the future you won't be able to validate your Biscuit tokens. So I'll go ahead and save this private key in a file. Um, yeah, I already had one key saved. I'll be saving a new one. Let me validate if it's everything's fine. 459. Yeah, perfect. I have saved this one. And also I'll create a file to save our public key, just in case I don't have to regenerate it again. So yeah, done. I have saved my public key and private key. Now the important thing is, we'll write our first Biscuit token. So for that, I have created a sample file already. Let me show that to you. So I have created this three files along with private and public keys. This one is the authority.datalog, which will create our Biscuit token. Then to validate the token, we have created this authorizer.datalog, wherein all the rules and facts are mentioned. We will be using this authorizer.datalog to verify the Biscuit token generated using authority.datalog. So let's see, what's the content inside the authority.datalog. It's a simple Biscuit token. It just contains a single fact, user with admin, and we'll be generating a Biscuit token using this fact. So the way to do that is, you need to type Biscuit generate private key file. So it's a long command, but what you can do is, there is this help section. You can go and check it out. So all the commands that I write here, probably the parameters that should be passed, the arguments that should be passed, is written here. So what I'm doing is private key file. This command asks for a private key file, which I have already saved in private, that I'll be passing now. Private. And lastly, I'll need to pass the file where I have written the fact for this Biscuit token, which was mentioned in authority.datalog. So now, so once I press this, I mean, like once I hit the enter, I basically get a new token now. So this is the generated Biscuit token for the fact that I have mentioned in the authority.datalog file. So yeah, this is the token. Now let's see, let's verify this token. We can do this by using a simple command, Biscuit. Yeah. Oh, sorry. There's a Google. Oh, I missed the inspect. Yeah. So now we'll copy this Biscuit token, press enter. So you see the Biscuit token has been verified, and here, as I have mentioned earlier, it contains a default authority block. So this authority block says that it contains a fact, that is user admin, and it generates a revocation ID by default. So this revocation ID, we will be using it in future to revoke the token from the system. Let's say this comes in very handy if in case we unceremoniously want to kick a user out of the system with this token, or probably, let's say, if the token is compromised. So this revocation ID can be used to easily revoke the token from the system. So this is how it's different from JWT. In JWT, you need to generate your revocation ID by yourself. So you have to maintain the logic by yourself. But in this case, in Biscuits, revocation token and revocation ID is generated by the system itself. So you don't need to worry about generating a revocation token. So next thing, we are going to actually see if this token is allowed by a system. So let's say you have a Golang program or probably a Node.js program in the server, and when this token arrives to your system, you need to check whether this Biscuit token holder is allowed to access a resource or not. So for that, as I told you earlier, I have created an authorizer dot datalog file. There are a lot of facts here. Actually, the authorizer.datalog will can contain lot more facts which will be used to verify against the incoming Biscuit token. So I have categorized these facts into three categories just for demonstration. What happens is in facts one, I have written three facts. So these facts, although they are statically written here, but what we can do is we can verify, we can write this facts from the incoming. I mean, like we can generate this facts from incoming Biscuit token. So let's say we can read the token, the incoming Biscuit token, and see what's written inside it. So the fact that was written was user with admin value, and the time the token, the incoming Biscuit token was created, we can read that. Also, the method. So probably if you send this token using a post request, we can also see what kind of request in incoming request that was, right? Second facts, the second category will be something hard coded in the Biscuit, that can be hard coded in the authorizer.data log file. So let's say we have hard coded these three facts here: resource, backend, and operation. And third, for the demonstration purposes, what we can do is, although again it's hard coded, but you can fetch this facts from your server, probably not server but the database, probably, in case you want to do it. So it's very cumbersome to write all the facts in a single file, hard coded data. And also probably in case if you want to modify some facts in the future, so it becomes very cumbersome. So what the best way to do is, fetching this facts from probably a database or maybe some JSON file. So that you can do is, so that is how I have demonstrated these three categories, although they are all hard coded right now. Now the next thing that comes to our authorizer.datalog file is, it's a function. Basically it's a function to verify if the incoming Biscuit token matches the user, the resource asked, and the kind of operation, the operation that is possible with this Biscuit token. So we have written a function to verify all this against the incoming Biscuit token. Now actually, in the third step, we are calling this allow and deny condition. So now, in this, if this is allowed condition, the function is passed, then the Biscuit token will be allowed to access the asked resource. Or if it doesn't, then the Biscuit token will be denied. So let's see what how you can do is how we can do this. You already see that, we have user equal to admin written here. So the Biscuit token, if we verify it right now, it should pass. Let's see how to do it. So the first step that we do is, we verify this Biscuit token. So for that, um, we will be using this one command. So that way, biscuit inspect, so verify with file authorizer. Now we will be passing our authorizer.datalog file to verify against the incoming Biscuit. You see, we will be needing a public key here, because the Biscuit token has been signed with our private key. And the Biscuit ecosystem actually works with the public, काटना पड़ेगा थोड़ा सा, थोड़ा ये काट देना, ठीक है, ये वाला काट के मैं सीधे सीधे कर दूंगा. So now we'll pass our public key that was generated here. Although I have saved a file, but since it's accessible here in this command line terminal, so I'll be using it. So let's paste this. Then it prompts for our Biscuit token. We'll be entering the Biscuit token here. Press enter, press D. As I said, the Biscuit token has passed the authorization check. um, you see it's written public key check succeeded, then authorizer check succeeded. So this Biscuit token has been allowed to access the resource that it asked for. So yeah, that was it. That was how easy we validate a Biscuit token against authorizer file. So now let's move to attenuation. So attenuation is a process of adding a new rule in the existing Biscuit token to generate a new Biscuit token with less authority than the original Biscuit token. So this comes in handy. Probably, let's say you are an admin and you have all the rights in a system, let's say, but now you want to add a new user with all the rights except for probably, let's say, billing. So what you can do is you can attenuate the existing token and pass that token to the new user. When he sends new when he sends the this new Biscuit token to the system, he'll be allowed to access all the resources in the system except for billing information. So this is why attenuation is very useful. So again, for that we will be writing a new data log file. As I told you earlier, that I have already written a data log for attenuating this Biscuit. So this is here. So just for this example, I have created a new rule which says to check if the authorizer file contains an operation create, and if it matches the condition, then only it will be allow it will the Biscuit incoming Biscuit token will be allowed to access the system. So let's see how we can generate this attenuated token. um, for this we have to write a new command, that is Biscuit attenuate block file. I'll need to pass the name of the file which contains the new rule, that is pass attenuated.datalog. Press enter. So now again we'll need to pass the existing Biscuit token, and the attenuation will be appended to the existing Biscuit token file, right? So how do we do it? We press enter. See, this is the new attenuated token that we have received from this command. We'll inspect and see what's the content inside it. So the way you do it, you have already seen it. Biscuit inspect, pass the new attenuated token. Oh, see, is an extra. All right. So these are the contents of our new attenuated Biscuit token. So you see, we already had this inside our previous Biscuit token, the original Biscuit token that we generated. And apart from that, this block has been added. So now you understand the concept of blocks. So the default block is authority block, which is there by default in any Biscuit token. And if you attenuate any Biscuit, so it will be, a new block will be appended to the existing token. So this way the attenuation rules are tracked. So this one is a new generated block. It contains check our operation check, which we mentioned in our dead authorizer file, and it also generates a new revocation ID. So this revocation ID can be used to, revoke this specific block. But in general, it doesn't happen. So to revoke a token, you have to, it is recommended that you basically use this revocation ID, the revocation ID generated from the master Biscuit token, to revoke the complete token. Otherwise it becomes uh, little what do you say, ये वाला भी थोड़ा काटना पड़ेगा, ठीक है, ये काट देंगे, फाइन, 1 मिनट का पॉज. Finally, we'll see if this Biscuit token passes our authorizer.datalog checks. So the way to do it is again Biscuit inspect verify with file authorizer. This command has been already done earlier, so probably I don't think you need any more introduction. Public key. So again, we'll need to pass the public key. um Here's our public key. I'll paste it. Oh, sorry, what happened? My biscuit spelling is wrong. All right. No. My bad. I'm typing it all wrong. All right. So now we'll pass our attenuated biscuit token to this and see if it's verified. I mean, if it's allowed to access the resource. Pass it. All right. So um, as per our rules, it has succeeded the check, and the attenuated biscuit token is also allowed to access the resource. So yeah, that is it. That was the tutorial about biscuit tokens using the biscuit CLI. In the next tutorial, probably we'll be using a programming language, maybe Golang or Node.js, to do the same